Hello, and welcome to a slightly different day of Let's Playing. Today we're going to be taking a look at a game, an MUD called Avendar, Crucible of Legends. An MUD is essentially a text-based adventure similar to Zork, with the difference being that it's connected online, so you essentially play with other people. Avendar is something I've always wanted to kind of get into, but I wasn't really sure how. There's a lot of rules. I'm not actually very good at text-based games at all. I lack a lot of the patience to read that, and there's oftentimes a lot of weird commands because everything has to be done through text. That is very much the case with Avendar. So this will be kind of a learning process, as well as a hopefully I hope just sort of a relaxing way of spending a little bit of time. There are, I don't want to say strict, but there are role-playing rules in Avendar. Avendar was actually, as far as I understand, created to be more of a role-playing game and less of an MMO. However, that's not to say that there aren't a slew of rules to learn, so I'm actually pretty excited to figure it all out. Now, I haven't gone into this completely blind, so for your sake, of course. I've spent about 5 hours playing the game already, and it is pretty deep. Even, you might think 5 hours sounds like a lot. It wasn't. It was about enough time to sort of learn the commands, read up on the history of Avendar. There's this whole library you start out in. The best way I can put it is Avendar has this history of, like, gods, sort of, that there was this winged race of people, and they, see, even I can't quite remember it all correctly. I took notes. Let me bring up my notes here. Yeah, essentially there were all these races of people that made friends with the gods, or they upset the gods. There was a war. All the different races played a part in the war. There were lizard people that joined with the humans to fight the birds, and then ended up, like, betraying the humans and the lizard people, and then other races popped onto the scene. Eventually, at some point, there was this huge demon uprising of these subterranean people that came up from the inside the earth or something, coming through some sort of channel plane, and then all the races had to sort of band together to push the demons back, and now things are sort of at a Cold War state where the demons really can't actually take over the world, but they want to, and all the races are kind of aligned but kind of not, because there's not a real good unifying reason for them to be aligned. That's, as far as I understand, just like the surface level history of Avendar. There's a lot of lore in the game. There's a lot of things you can spend time sort of learning and just moving you through the world, so to say. Just to give you kind of a, let me see here, kind of a glimpse at what we're looking at. There is actually a website you can go to, and we can actually get some pictures here if we refresh the page a couple times. I don't know who did this art, but somebody drew pictures of some of the races here. As you can see, there are about, what, 10? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11 races, all with their own stats, traditional D&D stats. However, you notice some of them can go up to 25. Technically in AD&D, 25 was the max, so I guess that's still in line with AD&D. There's random name generators on the site, and actually, shoot, I should probably put this on. Let me just put this on the MUD so you can see the website name if you need it real quick. It's just https avendar.net. Let me get back to the web page. There we go. But yeah, here's all our races. Of course, every race can be certain classes. I thought there was a way, yeah, each of these races, you can click on them to find what classes they can be, what they're good at. There's all sorts of things. It's really quite in-depth. Let's see, I think, now keep in mind, and I'm going to give this a disclaimer, I hope, once at the beginning, and then I won't babble on about it later, but this is going to move very slowly. After all, it's a text-based adventure. I'm going to be reading everything. I'm going to be going over, you know, as much as I can, because there's really no reason to play a text-based adventure if you want something that's fast-moving and visual and a lot of, like, a lot of real-time, you know, action. So you have been warned. If that's not your thing, I totally understand. However, this will be a very plotting let's play, so to say, as we go and look over all of these pieces. Now, we won't go over every single race as far as what classes they can be, what their stats are, and things like that. But really quickly, I think it would help if I just kind of give a brief breakdown. It would help me as well, just kind of get a refresher in my head. We'll start with the Eleutheria, which are apparently a super strong race. They, like, I think they were the original race in Avendar, and they were huge and beautiful and intelligent, and I can't quite remember why, but they made the gods angry, and the gods cursed them. So basically the only thing they're good at now is being super strong. They're not super smart, they're not magically gifted anymore. The Aelin, on the other hand, are a bird people. They focus on water magic, and they worship some goddess called the Mad Angel. The Kaladarin are earth people. They focus on mental magic, they're not warriors, and they're tree people. Are they the ones... Sorry, and I am just looking over my notes here. They're the ones that are part green? There's a race that's green. They might be the ones. Because they're supposed to be like trees. Let's see, what else we have? The Chitaran, which are people, spirit magic. Oh, okay. So you remember that thing I was telling you earlier, right? Where, like, the demons come in from underground. So the demons went to summon their god or something like that, some super powerful entity, but instead of summoning their deity, they accidentally summoned this race of people who, like, hated them. I think they were trying to summon their dragon, like this big dragon god, and instead of the dragon god, they summoned the Chitaran, which ended up turning the tides of the war into everyone but the demons' favor, and that's how the Cold War kind of started, or rather, not the Cold War, but that's how, like, the demons were pushed back thanks to the help of the Chitaran. The Chaja, oh, these are the, let's see, subterranean slaves. Oh, right. Let's explain the Shudeni first before we go into the Chaja. The Shudeni are the demon people. They're kind of like the Draugr from Skyrim. I think they have no eyes, if I remember correctly. Let's see here. Yeah, they have no eyes. They hate the Chitaran, and they worship the great dragon of the void, which was that big beast they were trying to summon. We have the Ethron, which are... Do I not have notes on the Ethron? I don't have any notes on the Ethron. I guess those guys are just a mystery to me. It says here they're hardy, nature-dwelling, and amphibious. Humans, of course, are just your average primate monkey people. They're not monkeys. Oh, this music's getting a little loud. Essentially, yeah, humans kind of have this history in Avendar of, like, getting connected to all the right people at all the wrong times. Like, they allied themselves with the lizards, so they learned the lizard fire magic and fought the birds, and then a group rebelled against the humans and the lizards and joined the birds, and they learned the water magic from them, and, like, they just kind of do what humans in history do, which is join a lot of sides, learn a lot of things, and kind of become decent at everything, but not really known as specializing in any particular field. There is the Concoran, which are a wolf-like people. Think furry. They're warlike, they're nomadic, they have these feral tribes. Yeah, it's kind of like the savage group, or the savage race. Let's see, human, Concoran, Nefortu. The Nefortu are the bat-like people. They're like the Ferengi from Star Trek. They love games. They love profit. They'll do anything to turn a coin. The Shudeni are the slaves. Oh, sorry. No, I said we were going to go back. I got that backwards. The Khalid... No, where are we? I'm going to get this. Don't worry. I'm looking for the slaves here. Ah, here we go. The Chaja. That was the group we said we were going to go back. They are the slaves of the Shudeni. They're essentially like physical labor. They're known for having high con, although I guess the Aletheria have pretty high con as well. Yeah, I don't really know much about them other than they're just slaves of the Shudeni. They're giants, so like they're these huge things. Yeah, I guess that's kind of it about them. The Siren are the lizard people. They know fire magic. And actually, it looks like here I did have... Okay, here's my notes on the Ethron. The Ethron are plant golems. It says here... Yeah, apparently they're good cooks. I got a little tired of note writing, so my notes became less organized as time went on. But yeah, those are all the races. So hopefully that kind of gets you an understanding of the setting that we're going to be going into. Now, I need to log in here. So I'm going to actually turn this off. Okay. And then I'm going to enter in a bunch of bunk text here. Okay, here we go. Alright, so the game begins, of course, by creating the name of your character. Now, the names have to follow the rules of they can't be an existing character, or they can't be a username. They really wanted you to create a unique identity. So right now we have to decide who are we going to be. The name really isn't important. I spent a lot of time my first time stressing out about the name. I think it's just more important that you pick a name. So the first thing that popped into my head was Talaris. I have no idea. It's just a random fantasy name. We don't have a character named Talaris. Yes, we're going to create a new character. Of course, we get the rules here. Our name does fit these conditions, so we're going to say yes. We don't want a surname. We're going to turn color on. But I don't know if that actually works here. Nope. Gotta enter a password. Hold on. Okay, it's asking if we're new. I'm going to say no. It's going over the races. Okay, I think I can turn the screen back on now. Alright. So all the races we've already gone over. I guess we should have just used this as the quick version for their explanation. I prefer human. I have a hard time playing as anything that isn't human. Unless it's a robot. So I guess the humans can be any race, or sorry, any class, any alignment, and they receive 3 practices. Now, I don't entirely understand practices myself. They are the method in which you learn skills, gain abilities, acquire stats, that kind of thing. I don't know if 3 is good. Apparently, we just have 3. So we'll say yes, that's fine. Humans can learn a bonus language. So I guess who do we want to talk to? I kind of like the lizard people, the Siren. Not really sure how I feel about the Shudeni. I don't really like them. They just seem kind of creepy. The Nefortu seem trustless, not able to be trusted. I don't know. We'll just go with the Siren. How many initial trains do you wish to spend? 1, I guess? Initial trains? I don't... Alright, so these are related practices somehow. Trains can be interchanged with practices. I don't actually understand how this works. I'm gonna say 0 for now. Would you like to train another language? Oh, okay. I guess it's just asking us. Yes, we would like to train Siren, so we'll spend 1 of our training. Would you like to train another language? No, because we have no more trainings left. Alright. So we have a gender. We can be male, female, or N, which I assume is non-binary, or perhaps neutral. We're gonna be male. And here we go. So we have these 6 classes. We can be a warrior, rogue, scholar, templar, naturalist, mentalist. But the thing to understand is each of these classes have multiple classes underneath them. So we're actually going to be a scholar. And scholars are basically mages. Scholars can learn water, fire, earth, air, spirit, or void. Void is associated with the Shudeni. Spirit, I believe, is associated with the race that were accidentally summoned instead of the dragon. Can't remember who air is. Fire is the lizards. Water is the bird people. It's a little weird that the bird people didn't get air. Let me double check, make sure I'm saying that right. Let's see here. Air. I don't have air written down. I have water written down. Why do I not have water? Oh, I'm searching in the wrong direction. Hold on. Yeah, the bird people got water. Who got air? I don't have it written down. Anyway, we're gonna do fire because, sorry, but fire is just fun. Select a... Yes, I thought we selected fire. Here we go. Human primary attributes. As a human, you may customize your character. What are we looking at here? Let's see. It says, for example, you may choose to have a strong character or dexterous. Oh, I see. It's just, well, we're scholars. We're going to do intelligence, of course. You have 2 points remaining. Wait. Choose primary. What if we just choose intelligence again? Oh gosh, we did. Is that going to mess something up? I don't know. Maybe we're just allocating our points here. Let's do, so we did intelligence, let's do dex as our 3rd primary. Okay, our alignment, choose one of the following, neutral or evil. We cannot be good, interestingly. I wonder if that's because we chose fire as our element. Ethos, in addition to alignment. Oh, okay, this is just the traditional D&D stuff. So we're going to be neutral. You may pick one of the following hometowns: Varbandor or Irindam. Let's go with Varbandor. Okay, trait selection. You have the option to spend some of your initial trains to purchase beneficial traits for your character. The number of trains you spend is determined by the cost of each trait. Many traits are automatically granted to specific classes or races. Trains are used to customize your character's primary attributes, which are used to practice your skills and provide other benefits. For more information, yeah. This is the part that was probably the most complicated during my first 5 hours, and I still don't quite understand it. Would you like to enter the trait selector? Yeah, sure, we'll just do that. You may select from the following group of traits. Well, let's do magical. Okay. Trait selector. Well, how many traits can we choose? Oh, okay, they cost trains. So, I don't really like the word trains, because train sounds like choo-choo trains, but trains are like a thing your character gets. Think of them like perk points. Like, they should have just been called points, or I don't know. I guess there's not really a great word for it, but think of them as skill points that we have. Let's see. Gifted, you may attempt to cast spells you do not have the energy for. Interesting. Obscure, No one can make out the arcane words used in casting your spells. That's interesting. That seems almost more like a role-playing, or I don't know, an obfuscation. How do you say that word? Obscurance, whatever. Possibly that's useful when fighting PvP. Oh, something I forgot to mention. The whole world of Avendar is completely PvP. That sounds brutal. So I looked up the whole reason why. Essentially, they wanted this game to be a role-playing game, like literally role-playing. And their thoughts were, if we prevent people from killing each other, then it's not really role-playing. So the PvP aspect isn't there so that players can prey on each other, although I'm sure that's actually what happens. The PvP aspect theoretically is there to allow the greatest amount of role-playing. That being said, chances are we're probably going to play this and get scooped by a lot of people early on while we're trying to figure things out. Obscuring the spells you cast, I suppose, would allow it so that your opponent isn't tipped off to what you're casting, but we know so little about the game that I don't think that's a very useful talent for us to take. We can also take Pious. You can recall when not affected by adrenaline and have greater chance of reward when you sacrifice items. You can... Oh, recall. I think recalling is when you, like, jump back to the town or something. I don't know. Gifted sounds fun. Guess we'll just take that. Let's see. This would cost 1 train. This would reduce your starting trains to 14. Yeah, we'll just do that. But do you wish to continue selecting traits? No, we'll be fine. God selection. If you wish, you may declare your character as associated with one of Avendar's deities upon creation. While this choice will be invisible to other players, it will be available for the consideration of staff. Right, I should probably mention there are several people who maintain and run Avendar. They're sort of thought of as like gods, and essentially they help police to make sure that the rules of the game are being followed. Let's see. By specifying a deity now, any sacrifices you make to that deity will lead to greater response than they would otherwise receive. Do you wish to select a god to follow? I actually really like the Mad Angel. Shoot. I don't remember her name, though. Did I write it down? Allele. Allele is the Mad Angel. Okay, so we'll follow Allele. She sounded pretty cool. Alright. Divine Boon. Since you have chosen a deity, you are now eligible to receive a Divine Boon in exchange for 3 trains. If you opt to accept it, you will gain a mechanical benefit related to their themes. In addition to that, the sacrifices you make will receive an even more powerful response than you would receive as just their follower. Do you wish to accept the boon of Allele? Sure, we'll accept the boon. Divine Boon chosen. When other characters look at you, they may see an outward manifestation of the boon you have accepted. You can take a variety of forms, some of them more subtle than others. Look at yourself when you complete the creation sequence to view which one you have received, and feel free to incorporate it into your roleplay. Remember, the method by which your character received it is up to you, as is your specific relationship to your benefactor. This is getting deep already. Okay, so we've taken a boon from Allele, the Mad Angel. Well, I guess without really knowing how it manifests, it's difficult to develop the character. That's something else we need to consider. We actually need to build our character as we play. Yeah, I mean, I'm actually pretty terrible at this. So if any of you in the comments section want to help give me ideas, if you think of something, feel free to. I'm definitely not going to be upset should you help me roleplay here. That being said, let's see here. They may be an outward manifestation. Okay, we'll just have to look at it when we create our character. So we are Tolerets, the neophyte of fire. We are somewhat intelligent, somewhat dexterous. Actually, our stats are all kind of middling. We're 18 years old. This is a good time to mention another aspect of Avendar. The other the other character I created has actually been removed from the game, and I believe that's probably because I was just idle with him for so long. In fact, characters in Avendar age at a rate that is out of your hands. In fact, even when you log off of the game, your characters continue to age. Humans live about, I think if I did the math right, about 6 months of real time. So we essentially have 6 months to play this character. Other races live longer. Some, I believe, actually even live shorter. But yeah, basically, we'll start out 18 years old, and I don't know I don't have the numbers, but it's like every hour or so, like a day passes, or every half hour a day passes, or something like that. So we'll need to keep that in mind, since our age is actually important. We're not particularly armed or armored. Yeah, I guess we have 100 copper points. You were born at 12 o'clock a.m. Liran's Day, first day of the dawning. You are getting hungry, you are magically gifted, you have a magical aptitude, you have been marked by your god. Marked, I'm not really sure what that means. Are you satisfied with this character? Yes. Okay. So we're in the game. And yeah, you can see here the last update was June 2019. As of this recording, today is August 18th. So you can see the developers are actually pretty active at updating and maintaining this game. If I understand correctly, the last major update that they added, or part of the major update, was actually adding a bar of soap. Because there was this whole thing about how the soap kept crashing the game, and they just wanted to add some soap so people could clean themselves off after entering the sewer. Oh well. Let's see here. Doesn't look like there's anything directly applicable to us here. So we'll go ahead and just move on in. Well, guys, here we go.